afternoon. This is Fishing Newb TV, and this is Chris Acero here once again. Well, in the lieu of the latest COVID-19 prevention by the UAE government and in compliance to their rules, I decided, and my family decided to stay home for a while and stop for fishing for some time until the issue clears. And while at home, and I need to find to do something, so today I'll be sharing with you how I maintain my fishing gears, especially after a fishing trip, especially if you're doing it on a salt water. It's much better that you maintain your fishing gears, clean it after the usage to prevent corrosion and deterioration of your gears. As we invested on these gears, we should also maintain it so that it will last for a long time, inshallah. So today I have a Daiwa BG here. It's a Daiwa BG 4000, the old model, because there's a new Daiwa BG now in the market, which is a Mag Seal all black sexy reel. I just have this one. I used it last 2 weeks ago in a trip in Fujairah, Fujairah, for deep sea fishing, though I did not book anything using this reel. Still, it's been exposed to salt water, so we have to clean it before we store it. And I have also a PF Luger Monarch low profile baitcaster, which I've used in Fujairah lately. So I didn't clean it yet. It's been 2 weeks. It's not recommendable that you should just leave it like that. After a fishing trip, it's advisable that we have to clean our gears to prevent salt buildup, because salt will cause corrosion, and corrosion can cause damage to our gears, and it's better to prevent it because it can be costly. Ka-angler natin, susubukan natin na may pakita sa inyo kung ano yung simpleng paraan lang kung paano ko linisin, maintain ang aking mga reels. Isa dito nga ang isang spinning at isang bait casting reel. Okay, isahan na natin. Dito sa ating spinning reel, itong Daiwa BG. Daiwa is a very simple equipment. Lalo na yung mga old school na models niya, mga crossfire, sweep fire, mga ano pa ba, lagi kong nagagamit. Meron din akong Daiwa na XLR, which is medyo bago-bagong model. Pero yung mga models na mga Daiwa from 2017 below, medyo kayang-kaya, user-friendly siya, maintenance-friendly, madali siyang maintain, and halos parang interchangeable yung parts, lalo na sa sweep fire, crossfire. Minsan pag wala akong pyesa, may sira akong pyesa, interchangeable sila. Kinakannibalize ko na lang para mabuhay lang yung isang reel kung sira na yung kabila. So, umpisahan natin ito sa Daiwa BG. Tanggalin na muna natin itong kanyang drag knob. So, inspect natin. As we removed it, we should check the insides for any corrosion whatsoever. Sometimes if you are fishing on a sandy beach, you should clean it from any dust or sand inside, because sand can also be not a good thing, because it causes friction, it causes scratches. And then after that, this spool, you can run it, you can put it on your sink and through the running water to wash the excessive salt that builds up here. Or for me, I'll just have a wet cloth and just wipe it. And underneath this, you'll see there can be also some salt buildup here. So just wash it, wipe it, I mean. Usually metals like aluminum or aluminum here, I don't know what they called, and iron are prone to corrosion, and if left uncleaned, it can easily eat up those metals. So now the spool is clean. We'll go to the rotor. Doing this, we can also inspect for any obvious faults. So in this reel, it's still smooth as silk, still good. And see, there's some still sand here, so for me, it's advisable that we should not expose our reels on salt water, especially those reels which don't have proper seals. For Daiwa, they have already some mag sealed versions, wherein if you even use it underwater, the salt water will not go into the gears to the rotor inside and will not cause you further corrosion inside your reel and problems. Just clean it, remove those sand or salt residue buildup. Especially on this kind of rotor, there's only, for me, I don't want to remove this completely because still it's very smooth. So no time for further lubrication inside or taking it off. And then always clean your handle, because mostly the dirt is always here and the fishy things. And we can remove also this, so that when you remove this, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, so counterclockwise. This Daiwa BG has a solid handle, which is already a thread type, which gives you stability and force directly to the rotor. So there's a bearing there, so check it. If there's a dirt buildup or any sand, gunk, So clean it, and also the other side. And there you go. It's been cleaned now. Inspect the bearings, it's okay. And then you'll see the handle. There's some dirt there inside, so I'll just take a rag and this small screwdriver, push it there, clean it, and then that's it. And there you go. The cap. And as you can see, I also noticed here on the bail spring, the bail lock, see there's already a buildup of salt and oxides because of the reaction of aluminum and salt. There's some aluminum oxides now building up there, so that's an indication that there's already a corrosion. So we have to prevent that, and if you can scrape it off, scrape it clean there. It's very easy to clean corrosion or rust buildup if it's already, if you notice it on an early stage, because it's still on the top surface of the metal. So with the use of a rag, wet rag, run it there, and you see the difference. The corrosion buildup was removed. See, it's now clean, and that prevents for further building up and eating the metal where it is forming. There is also here on the bail spring, the bail lock, you'll see that white formation, or sometimes green patina, because green color means there's an element of copper there. If copper corrodes, it causes a patina. That's what you call the corrosion of copper. If it's rust, if it's a metal. So you see, we have removed and then clean your rollers, check for any scratches or because those scratches can cause your line to break. And then run this rag again. It's like cleaning a shoe. And there you go. Clean those bolt heads. Usually, especially on freshwater reels, sometimes you don't know that you are using a freshwater reels. They are prone to corrosion, unlike saltwater reels like this Daiwa, because the bolts used on this kind of reels are already stainless bolts, so it resists corrosion. So for if you have reels like Crossfire, Laguna, and Sweep Fire, those are what we call a freshwater reels, designed for freshwater. So if you have freshwater reels with you,
the more you should take care of it, the more you should clean it after usage. Even if you are using it in fresh water can also cause corrosion. So inspect it more. See, I found again corrosion formation inside this. So I'll just take a screwdriver with a rag on it and run inside through. Let's see. And everything's smooth now. Everything's okay, I guess. So I'm a lefty, but I'm a righty. I'm a righty originally. When I write, I use my right hand. But oddly, when I started fishing, I use a left-handed drill and become familiar to it and get used to it. And if you gave me a right-handed reel, it will be difficult for me to use, especially in jigging. I've been used to lefty now for fishing only. So after that, we can clean the shaft. If your shaft is exposed to water, if there is a grease there or oil, you'll see it will become, the color of the grease or the oil there on your shaft will become like a cream color. It means there's an indication that there's water, or it's been exposed to water. So it's not a good thing. For me, if my reel was exposed or drenched in water or soaked in water, in worst case scenario, I have to disassemble it all and clean the parts and lubricate it again to prevent corrosion to build up inside the internal parts. So what I will do now is that I have to lubricate the shaft with new grease. I'm using this pen grease. I'm not endorsing it, but pen, hello. Well, just not too many, just enough to cover the shaft. That's it. And then the bearing. Then we can now put back the spool. On this spool I have a PE3 braid with a almost a meter of 45-pound leader monofluorocarbon, fluorocarbon, and clean also your drag knob. You see, sometimes corrosion builds up on that plate, so always check and clean your gear, especially if there's already, you see some buildup of rust or corrosion on that area, because this one is the plate and this is the drag knob. This is the one that stops the spool giving you further friction and locking your spool, giving you the drag. So make sure that these parts are well cleaned and maintained. And that's it. It's very easy for a spinning reel to maintain and clean, especially if before storing it and after your fishing trip. Then I can put it now back here, and then we'll go to the baitcaster. Well, this baitcaster seems small, but my wife already caught more than a 5 kilogram of queenfish using this one, and also caught some good fishes on shore using this one, especially for mackerels and small groupers. I use this. I've acquired it in the US and it's still good. So we'll now start to clean this baitcaster. As you can see, basic parts of the baitcaster is this. This is the spool dial, wherein this adjusts the spool tension so that when you cast, it controls the release of the line out of your spool, because if it's too light, you'll get bird's nest, and it's not a good thing. You'll just waste your time untangling your line on a baitcaster. So we'll have another part for that on how to use a baitcaster, and just the handle. I just modified the handle this for jigging purposes. And then the drag, it's not like the spinning reel. The drag of this one is a star guide, and it's near to your handle, so if you need to adjust drag it, you can just adjust it easily by your finger, by your thumb, or by your pointing finger. And then this one here holds the cover for this one. So when I got this, I don't know what's the purpose of this and how to remove this plate. So this one is just a finger tight lock stud, and it has a spring on it, see? And then make sure it's all freed up. And then here on this side is your magnetic brakes, magnetic brake switch. So this one is for the purpose of during your first cast, it prevents the line for forming a bird's nest on the initial cast as it flies through the air. So this is that purpose. And if you're casting against the wind, so you have to increase it. And as you become familiar with the use of bait casting, you can just easily play with it, which makes you comfortable on how you use it. So bait casting reels is not that easy for the new beginners for fishing, Even me, I'm using this for 2 years already, going 3 years, but I still having some difficulties because you have to keep on adjusting in different situation. For example, weight of your lure, the wind, and you have to consider it. So it's not like the spinning reel that you can just throw it and just close the bail and then that's it. Here you should consider some adjustments, and we will discuss it on a later episode. I'll share how I use it, and that's it. So we'll have to open it now. So opening it, there are different types of bait casters. Some you can just twist it. So here, after loosening this locking stud, I have to twist it going down. See? So on this position, and then twist it down, push it with your thumb, and then after that you can now pull it out, and then you can pull out your spool. Your spool, again, you can have it washed on a running water for a short time, or for me, I'll just use a wet rag and have it wiped out. You see, there's no indication that it's exposed to water. There's no cream colored grease there or oil. Again, you'll have to clean it. And then also clean your magnetic brake, for any sand, dust, or gunk there. It's okay. Clean the dial, and here it's already open, so just run your rag inside. The spool release switch here, sometimes there's a buildup of salt. You see, that's the spool release knob. This will be on a lock position. This is the release position. So clean the insides of it. Especially this one. There's a worm gear there, which makes the line feeder moves left to right. As you can see, it will move to left to right. It's important that there's no buildup of dirt there. Actually, this bait casting reel is designed for bass fishing, so it's designed for freshwater use. That's why I have to maintain it constantly after every use in salt water, because it's prone to corrosion. You see underneath there's already a buildup of patina, so it's not that clear much, but there's a green color patina, so we have to scrape it using the rag again. Scrape. So scrape the surface to remove any further buildup, because if you just let it there sit, it will eat up the metal. And then I don't have to remove the internal parts because I feel it's still good. It's not that gritty and still smooth. Just a simple cleaning. And then get your small screwdriver again, run it inside. See, there's salt buildup there, so you have to remove all of that, especially if it's on a metal part. And then it's okay now. Worm gear is quite okay. There's no gunk there, no hair, no fiber, still clean. And also this metal here where the line feeder is sliding, make sure it's clean. And there you go, that's it. Also simple. Clean the knob because that's the part you always handle, and the part that is always getting also dirty. So clean the handle as well. And that's it. And that is now clean. And as you see there, you should also clean that. That's the thing that attach our spool lock. So there's quite a buildup of corrosion there because it's aluminum, so I have to scrape it off. So it's better to scrape it off first, and then you can easily remove it with a rag. Again, your screwdriver, wrap the rag, and run it there inside. See that one, those two bolts there. That one holds the spool lock switch going to the inside where there is a spring mechanism. So this one easily can be exposed to water, so I have to clean it thoroughly. You're still there deep inside. I don't want to leave even a small build up there, so I have to clean it thoroughly. You already cleaned it, so clean it good. I'm sorry if you cannot see it, but I'm just cleaning it. I need a narrower screwdriver. Remove that gunk there. That's it. So it's already cleaned, and to prevent again from any build-up there, we'll have to put some grease for protection. Just not too much, enough just to cover the surface. So there, a small film of grease, then we'll put it back again. Here I will put some, you see that gear inside, I'll put some grease on it just to prevent metal to metal contact, which can damage your reel. On gears, the rule there should always be lubricated and no metal to metal contact. And that's it. Also, not too much grease, also just enough to see. It's okay now. And then on this side, this one will be the ones on contact on that gear, on that drive gear. I'll grease the shaft. Just grease the shaft there. And for me, how I do it, I lubricate the bearing with oil. Sana oil. No, this is I don't use a machine oil or this Singer oil. I use a 15W30 engine oil, because for me it sticks well to the component and it doesn't drip fast. And imagine if it's in the engine of your car, it sticks there, preventing any further friction during startups. And I consider it also as well on the reels. So I'm using this 15W30 oil for the bearings on my reels, and then put it through. Usually they put tape on this so to prevent the line from tangling out, and that's it. And on this part, you should also lubricate it with grease. Not too much, but a thin film of it. just to prevent metal to metal contact. And on the other cover, where the magnetic brakes are located, you'll see there's a bearing there. So again, it's only for me. I lubricate that area with oil for a longer period of time. Then again, putting it back on that position, press, and then tilt it up. In that position, then tilt it up. So if everything's all in line, your tank is caught between the wheels and the housing, so it's okay. So you have to lock it with stub or a bolt, or what do you call it, just by hand. Lock it so that the magnetic brakes housing will not be loose. By hand, you don't need a screwdriver in it. There's everything that you see with that grooves on it means that it can be turned by hand type one. You see also on this spool adjuster, means you can adjust it by hand. When you see those grooves like that. Okay. And then finish it up. I lubricate the line feeder guide, line feeder railing, that one here. So this line feeder goes left to right, and also the worm gear which they're inside. You see it? There's a worm gear there. This one. Yeah, that one. The worm gear. So just using again an oil. Just drop 2 to 3 drops of oil there, and then run your line. Now, and then the one gear, some use grease on it, but me, I just use oil to lubricate that. So drop. I don't have a dropper. So again, back and forth again, and it's all good now. Smooth. Don't put too much oil on it. Keep it splatter and get it all on the line. And that's it. Simple. Maintaining your reels, both spinning and baitcasting after your fishing trip. So I hope you find this information useful. But anyways, I will be just sharing this to you. If it's find it very useful on your fishing, hit the thumbs up, or if you comment, add something, say something, feel free so. Put your comments on the comment below, and we'll discuss it. We'll share ideas, and I can learn from you also. And again, since we're still on a quarantine,
I'll be sharing some videos soon on my fishing and how I maintain my gears. Again, thank you very much for watching, and fish on. Bye.
And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you get something out of it. And I apologize if it's quite boring. Well, on these times, being bored is quite acceptable. And in the next video, I hope you'll be with me again. And thank you very much for watching. Please do comment and like and hit the subscribe button with a bell with it. Thank you very much for your support. Be safe and fish on. Till next time. Bye bye.